Hey,
What up, everyone?
happy Monday.
How you doing?
Welcome back. Welcome back from a long holiday. It's good to see you, bro.
Yeah, likewise, brother.
We haven't seen each other for a couple days.
I know.
And if you guys go, look at Eli.
It's been super weird. We had Thanksgiving this past week and like that snowstorm before that, so it had been a couple of just like office or work from home days. So it's good to see you.
I think you were just making excuses like you didn't want to see me.
Hell no,
I'm
man.
posting this right now. I'm
Hell
like,
no.
welcome to the suck. And for some reason it says, welcome to the duck. Because like your spell check. Like, you know when you want to write fuck?
Yes.
When you want to write like fuck you to someone, it always autocorrects as duck. And you're like,
Always.
hey, it's never duck. I promise you that.
My phone tries to be such a good person, man. But,
I bet your phone is.
But it tries, dude. It really tries.
Mine does. There we go. Got it shared. So for those of you watching right now, if you're seeing this, we are live on Facebook and YouTube and like LinkedIn or something like that. But we also upload to iTunes and Spotify, Day 1 Zero podcast. So if you would rather watch and or if you'd rather just listen when you're at the gym and you want to shut your screen off or whatever, we are on those.
Yeah.
You like that shout out?
I do like
I haven't
that.
done that in a while.
That's
I'm
good,
the worst.
man. That's
I'm
good.
the worst like shotter outer of ourselves.
Right. The call to action there.
So, topic today, man. I'm excited for this one. I think we've somewhat covered it, here and there, like not in passing, but I think it kind of coincides with other podcasts, you could say. But today we're talking about embracing the suck. We're going to talk about the suck. What is the suck? It's not perverted. I guess it could be, depending on your profession.
I swear to God, bro, no one's mind even goes places, and then you just say something and take it there.
Well, I'm just thinking, like, look, I don't want to discriminate. So, depending on your profession, suck could be one or two things,
That's
right?
true.
So,
That's true.
I don't want to discriminate. So, if you're out there doing your thing on the block, embracing the suck might be different for you, but I'm going to do my best to make sure it still applies.
That's right. That's good.
But we're going to talk about what that is and just why there's no substitute for it, and why you should welcome it. And we listen to podcasts, we've listened to the Andy Frisellas and the different people, and even just folks that are ahead of us in business that are local that we speak to, and we hear some of their stories as far as like what it took, man. And they're 25 years in, and they go back and talk about some of their stories and their struggles and what it really took to just be productive in business. And the benefit we have is podcasting and social media. So instead of trying to be fancy, which I call smoke and mirrors, like when people get just too fancy, dude, and they're faking the funk and taking photos on a private jet just to sit their ass on commercial to fly to California. Why, like, what are you doing? What's the need for, like, why do you need to do that? And it's just, it's dishonest. And unfortunately, some people believe that bullshit because I guess they just believe in humanity. You know what I mean? And like they take everything at face value. And yes, you could blame them. Well, like, yeah, if they're dumb enough to believe it, that's them. Like, yeah, true. But man, okay. But what about your own integrity? Like, fuck everybody else. Like, the reason why I love documenting, yes, it's to show everybody what we're doing and to be honest about it and show the climb. But I also do that for myself, man. Like, for my own integrity. I can't be running around fucking doing fake shit.
Yeah, no, bro.
And you're pretending to be further along than you are. So
Yes.
God forbid, like, you do get a nut. What are you going to do with it? Oh, you land a contract, or, you land a deal, or whatever it may be, like, but you actually don't know how to do anything.
Right.
It's like showing up to a jiu-jitsu gym, like you move out of state and you show up to a jiu-jitsu gym and you're wearing a fucking blue belt or a brown belt. Right? Because
you think that's where you should be, so you went on Amazon and bought one.
Or because,
right.
So like you walk into some gym as a brown belt,
Yep.
and then you just start getting your ass whooped. Like, look, man, you're discrediting yourself at some point. Now, if you wear that brown belt, I guess you can wear it in your photos, but don't ever walk into a jiu-jitsu gym and actually roll with someone because they're going to figure it out.
Yeah, dude. Well, and that's the whole thing, man. And I think that's one of our topics we want to talk on today is the benefit of the gym, the benefit of something like jiu-jitsu where you get that immediate feedback. There's very few things in life that gives you that immediate feedback, and that's one of the things with jiu-jitsu, man. You can't fucking fake anything, man.
Or the gym.
You can't fake anything. You can't fake a 405 bench press.
You're not.
You can't fake that.
You try.
Yep.
It'll fuck you up worse than a jiu-jitsu match.
Yeah, dude.
At least in jiu-jitsu, you can tap.
Yeah.
When that bar slams on your fucking throat, listen.
Tap all you want.
That bar does not talk to you.
Yep.
It's speaking no English.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
You're fucked. Yeah, man, and I'm not sure where it all came about. It's not a millennial thing because we see it in older generations too, man. but people have this thought or this notion that they have to be further along than they actually are.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure where that came from, but when we talk about like embracing the suck, we're going to get to that. But as far as like just being new and embracing like a new project and growing, like don't do yourself a disservice and take that from yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then put yourself out there like you're further along than you are because you want to look more successful. And I don't know if that falls back to an insecurity or you want to wear the jersey, but you don't want to put the work in. There's probably a lot that kind of goes into that. But the biggest thing is that you're being unfair to yourself. It's okay to start. It's okay to be new. Just don't be a liar.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But again, I want to also, it's not just to like people that are watching, it's to yourself too, right? Like, and we don't normally talk about that. We talk about like how people portray you and you're being dishonest and other people, like other people's impression of you or how it affects other people versus like, hey man, like what about your own story?
Yeah.
What about your own, and just learning. So we're going to kind of get into that and just earning your keep. And one of the, I wrote a post, got some good traction, man. I got a couple shares off of it. I had a couple direct messages. I might read one today. I got a direct message about that post I wrote. Maybe, should I just read it?
Read it, buddy.
Let me just read it.
Yeah.
That way I can prove to all you guys I can read. In case, let's see here. Ooh, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
What's
that from?
This is fucking Dumb and Dumber, bro.
Oh, shit.
Oh, man. All right. I'm going to read this. And so if you guys are not watching and you're just listening, I posted a post on my Facebook and Instagram. It's got some military photos to it. It's got my son. So I'm holding a handful of dog tags, and I'm holding them because these are from fallen Marines, right? And this was from one of the Marine Corps birthdays. And then the collage, that's like to the far left. And then you've got like my son wearing my dog tag. And then you've got me and some Marine Corps photos. And I kind of go into this. So I'm going to give this a read. I want to let everyone know that Eli Schmidt here liked it. So that's cool. That's kind of a big deal. All right. Dog tags made of stainless steel. These are worn in the military as a way to identify individuals. One around the neck and one in your weak side boot. The weak side was deliberate, being that you tend to shield yourself from a blast with your strong side. And if there was any piece of you left, it would be your weak / less damaged side. Let's just talk about that, right? Or just let that sink in for a minute. So if you're shielding yourself from a blast, people tend to shield or block themselves with their strong side. So when I say you put one in your weak side boot, it's like, if you're shoot right-handed, if your strong side is right-handed, then in your left side boot laces, you got a dog tag in there. And that's literally because if you get blown the fuck up and you're just pieces, you're less, like your shielded side is going to be less damaged, which means, hey, look, probability is put in your weak side, okay? Because if there's any piece of you left, it's going to be that, and we can at least identify your leg.
That's crazy.
Yeah, well, this is, so understand that, like, when you're earning your dog tags and you're going through boot camp and School of Infantry and all that, just understand, like, dude, these things were just matter of fact. It was like, hey, put it here.
Yep.
What? Put it here. Here's why. No, fuck. Like, yeah, great, get over it. Put it, like, we got training to do. So this was just that mindset and being accepting of that and not trying to, like, attach yourself to that too much, man. Just give that some perspective, right? Marines would kiss them, pray with them, or at times just hold them and think of home. Your identity then was all you had and all that mattered, alongside keeping your brother safe. As you can see in the far left photo, this is a handful of dog tags celebrated and worn during the Marine Corps birthday. Resting upon a rifle and held in my hand, it's obvious that they are no longer on a Marine. Lost but never forgotten. That's just something that we've always said in military. I think that's military-wide. It's not a Marine thing. Nowadays, you can buy your own dog tag right at the mall. Most of the time, they will even make it out of better material and add engraved photos to them. Pretty fancy. But what that shiny dog tag is missing is a story. Sacrifice, blood, dents, and fingerprints from loved ones that have nothing left to hold on to. My point is this. Anything that matters is earned and comes with a high level of risk. It will never be about the shiny objects along the way or the fancy additions you can place into your life. It will be the blood, the fear, the loss, and the courage it took in order to create a story worth passing on. Pictured above is also my son. He's wearing the same dog tag that I wore during my entire enlistment in the Marine Corps. The stories that little boy of mine is holding in his hand says it all. It also gives me the drive to continue to attack every day with the amount of effort needed to remain successful, and to grow and mature as a man and now father. My son will have something bigger than himself to look up to and learn from. I also have something to pass on that I've earned with every inch of my soul. I embrace the intimate moments we will share here. Don't just talk about it, or better yet, don't be the dog tag from the mall. Be one that's been through the toughest of battles and one that has earned its place. Command respect by action and experience. So my whole synopsis of this is not a message to speak about combat or to speak about, having people thank me for my service. And usually people do anyway. And I do appreciate it. I'm not trying to tell people what they should say to me in response, right? You put something out there, people take it how they take it. A lot of people do thank you for your service. No, that's not my intention. But hey, I appreciate the kind words at the end of the day, right? Whether I think they're cliche or not, maybe they're not. And I can't just assume somebody's being cliche. So I do appreciate the kind words. But what I was getting at was like, look, this was my experience. This is through my lens. Okay, like this is something that I've earned. This is something that I knew what I was getting myself into. This is something that I put at risk. And I went through a process, and this was a chapter of my life. But that chapter of my life was hard as crap. That sounds really hard.
That was
hard
nice,
as crap. It was hard as heck. Okay, it was hard as fuck, right? It was hard as fuck. And not everybody comes home, and it's in the struggles with that, and the struggles of just wanting to be a good Marine and belonging, and there's just a ton of sacrifice behind that, man, and a ton of just courage.
8 years?
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, and again, man, like, I'm not making it about that.
Yeah.
I'm making it about, look, this is just what I can speak to. That's the only reason it's about that, is because, look, man, I got to speak to what I know. So what I am saying is that there, and just the chapter of going through that gave me so much perspective for the rest of my life and how I approach every day and how I have perspective on every day. So what I'm getting at is like, look, just don't be the dog tag from the mall, right? Like whatever you're doing, you've got to earn your keep. You're going to take some scars. Like you can't get in a fight and not expect to get hit. You just can't, right? And that's just not the way to go about it. And you shouldn't expect to go about it that way. So when you do take lumps and bruises and failures, like, bounce back. Yes, it's okay to be frustrated out of failure if you think that you're better, but at the same time, like, you also have to expect some of that.
Yes.
And give yourself a little bit of forgiveness and understanding. Like, so I added a little bit. So matter of fact, I'm glad I said that, because Instagram fuckers, they limit your words.
Right.
But on Facebook, you can write more. I'm not sure if Facebook limits you or not. But I added this. So let me just read this a little bit, because I added a little bit more on the Facebook one. Don't just talk about. Oh. What did you do to my Facebook? Are you hacking me right now? Okay, here we go. Let's see here. So my point is this. Okay, pictured above. Yep. So anyway, don't just talk about it, but so I read that. Okay, so here's the last two little pieces I put to it. Earn your place at the table every day. Don't allow yourself to rest upon prior successes. Merely use them to fuel your next chapter of growth. So that whole point there is like, hey, maybe you have earned your keep in some things that you've done in your life, but you can't just rest upon that. Like who you were prior does not dictate who you're going to be now. Understand that, And then the last one I wrote is the opposite side. And if you are embarking on your first actual journey, that's hard. So like for me, like the first actual journey that was hard was not playing a little bit of pro ball. It was the Marine Corps, because I didn't know how to swim. I had never shot a rifle till boot camp. So that was my first journey, right? So, and we always talk about this, like, when we talk about going through struggles or embracing the suck or certain things, or like, hey, fall back on what you've been successful before and fall back on what you know. Will, what if I don't know shit?
Right,
great.
Good point.
This is for you. And if you are embarking on your first actual journey that's hard, embrace it, learn from it, force yourself to grow. However, also accept the fact that this is your first struggle. Find times of forgiveness toward yourself. But no matter what, don't buy the dog tag and fake your place in this world. Earn your keep, earn your scars, battle it out. You'll be better for it. So this is also giving some perspective to like, listen, it's okay if this is your first time. You still want to approach it, as tough as you can. You still want to be hard on yourself. You still want to get better and grow and expect nothing less. But at the same time, when you do hit struggle or when you do fail or you do make a mistake, it's okay. Like, be hard on yourself and don't make that mistake again. But however, you got to move on. Like some people get so stuck in failure and they're like,
they do.
they're so mad at themselves. Like let's use sports, for example. Even in high school, a guy would strike out and it would like fuck his head for the rest of the game because he's like so mad.
Right.
Then now his defense sucks.
Yep.
And now he gets even worse when he goes to bat. It's like, look, dude, people are going to strike out.
Yeah,
like
they
we're
are.
at the varsity level. Like, do you realize if you hold a batting average of 300 in Major League Baseball for a career, you're going to the Hall of Fame? And that means 3 out of 10 times you got to hit.
That's crazy, dude.
Okay. And if you hold that, you're a Hall of Famer. Perspective, man. Like,
Yeah, big time.
you know, like it's okay to be frustrated if, you know, like we always said, hey, go down swinging. Don't let that third strike cross the plate with you just looking at it. Be better than that. So if you get like a called third strike, yeah, that sucks, man. And you should be better. But find some time of forgiveness because if you don't have a little bit of forgiveness toward yourself, you're not going to grow. You're not going to get better. You're going to be stuck on that loss and it's going to hinder you. You know, and I want people to understand that. So a theory that I have for me is I always try to like, hey man, just don't make the same mistake twice, right? Like if you're making different mistakes as you're growing in business or as you're growing as a father, like all good. You start repeating mistakes. That's where I really start having no forgiveness for myself. And it's like, look, no forgiveness. I still move forward. I still move on from it. But it's like, look, unacceptable. There is no rhyme or reason. You've already learned that.
Yep.
There's no rhyme or reason as to why you should be learning that again. You're just not prepared today. Stop it, right?
Yep.
And hey, smack your own pee-pee on that one. And just don't try to justify what happened. Now, if you're learning and you're growing and you're going through different types of mistakes, you just have to understand like there's that balance of being hard on yourself and wanting to get better, but also understanding like, hey, this is also the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
Right. And it's important to understand that, and it's important to have that in order to move forward. Like you have to have some forgiveness.
And whatever your thought process is there, you have to look and ask yourself the question, how does this benefit me? Whatever your thought process is, how does it benefit you? Because like for me, I was the opposite for a long time where I gave myself too much forgiveness. And I had to ask myself, hey, how does this benefit me? Hey, it fucking doesn't. I needed to be harder on myself. Other people, like you said, they're going to get caught up on the fact that they made a mistake or they didn't accomplish whatever, and they're going to dwell on that, and it's going to run in circles in their head. And then you have to ask yourself, hey, is this thought process benefiting me? To an extent, it's probably not, but you at least got to ask yourself that question, right?
Yeah. Well, and again, man, like you have to have your own way of like, how do I handle conflict with other people and with myself? How I handle conflict with myself is not how I handle with other people. I learned that like,
Yeah.
I don't know, a year ago.
Yep.
I know me.
Yeah.
I know how to be hard on myself. I know what's acceptable, what's not. I also understand that that's not everybody's barometer. And I'm not saying that I'm better than everybody. I just think through the leadership that I've had and the experiences that I've had, my level of acceptance for me is just a lot higher.
Yeah.
And I also don't take myself personal. I can call my own shit and not get mad at me to where I have to like go have some conversation with myself and like apologize to myself. Like, I don't know how to phrase it.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine that conversation?
Dude.
Remember Liar Liar when he's like throwing himself around?
Yeah.
Fucking Christ.
That's hilarious.
But so for me, that's where I assess, like,
Yeah.
am I making the same mistake?
Uh-huh.
Because if I am, I got to, no excuse. I got to get back to my framework. Like, what basic shit am I messing up right now? And kind of dive into that. And then if it's not, like, if it's something that I'm learning, you know, hey, like, this is new. This is a new, you know, a new mistake. Okay. Hey, noted. It's still not acceptable, but it's expected. And then, like, what am I doing as far as, like, what control measures do I put in place to then prevent that from happening again? Does that make sense?
Yep.
But I do go through that conversation in my head, and I do talk into my phone or type notes into my phone. Yep. There's times I'm in traffic, I'm driving, and it looks like I'm talking into my speakerphone. I'm not. I'm talking into my notes, and I'm just laying those out. And sometimes just, for me, I'm a talker, hence podcast. How are you? Love you guys, right? You know, like for me, that is a way of communication to myself. Absolutely. And that sounds weird, but it's not. Like for me, talking things out and getting through a thought process. Like I even talk to you sometimes and it's not related to you, but I'll bring something up and I'll talk about it to you. And sometimes you don't even talk back. You're just like, yeah, cool. Yeah. But for me to speak it out loud, it allows my brain to just go through a process and come to some resolve or some conclusion or some control measure that's going to allow me to just not let that happen again. And dude, verbally speaking for me, that literally, man, I physically feel lighter
Yeah.
after having that, after having a productive conversation,
Yep.
or just even if I'm just talking into my phone, just knowing I got it out and I've got notes that I can review, I'm at peace with it now and I can move on. And I think a lot of times, like when we talk about, embrace failure, and like, that's super popular nowadays, right? Like if you're not failing, then you're not trying, and all that cute shit. And that's cute. However, not that, like, so people are like overzealous and they start diving into stuff and they start failing and they're failing and failing and failing. But failure's expected. Like, but you're kind of like abusing that.
You have to do something with it, right?
That's the problem.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm getting at. It's like meat and potatoes. Like, okay, I failed. Now what?
Yep.
So that's what the fuck no one's talking about.
Yep.
What? Okay, I failed. What do I do now?
Yeah.
Great question.
Yep.
It's everyone's going to be different. For me, the first thing I go to is like, hey, have I made this mistake before? So that's my landing zone. It's like, I've got to like troubleshoot how fucked up I am, right? So no, I haven't made this mistake before, and I've made this mistake before. That lets me know. Like, so when I go there mentally, if you were to close your eyes and imagine like a fork in the road, when I make a mistake, like mentally in my mind, I put myself right before that fork in the road.
Where did this go wrong?
I fucked up.
Yep.
And I'm looking at it and I go, okay, left is I have messed this up before. Right is it's new. And if it's, I've messed this up before, I go left. Left is my framework. Left is like my traditional, framework for how I approach day in and day out, right? Just being me.
That's the.
Am I missing workouts? Is my diet off? Is my hydration off? Am I not being, like, just my basic everyday stuff? And then if it's not that, okay, I go right. I'll go right on the fork in the road. And that's like, okay, dissect the mistake. Figure out what the actual mistake was. Because losing money, let's use that one. Losing money like for like a business decision. Okay. But losing money is a symptom. It's not the problem.
Correct.
You got to figure out why you lost money. And then why you lost money, you might not have made that mistake before. So when I go right, it's like, okay, what happened? And am I looking at a symptom? Or am I looking at like the root cause of it? Usually I'm looking at a symptom, because if it's a new mistake, you don't see it coming. Hence why it's fucking new, bitch. Hence why it's an accident. Didn't happen on purpose, right? Basic stuff, you're just in your own head too much. It's like, man, why did I let that happen? Like, I'm better than that. You know what I mean?
Or you're not in your head enough, right? You're absent-minded.
Right, it's one of those two, but it's which means like, hey, my basic everyday framework is messed up. And I go into that. If it's new, I'm like, okay, what triggered me? A symptom, a cause. More times than not, it's a symptom, right? Like an emotion, I have to fire someone, I get an emotional reaction to something, I lose money, like something like that. But again, it's a symptom of a root cause. So now I start diving into like the symptom and like reversing that to finding the root cause. Once I find the root cause, hey, cool, I lost money because of X. All right. And then I start thinking of control measures. Okay, now that I've found the source, what control measures can I physically or mentally do to make sure this doesn't happen again? And then once I've got that there, hey, great, right? So if I'm setting an alarm for myself, if I'm writing it down, if I put some type of like maybe I put like an alarm on my account, or if you spend a certain amount in 1 week, it calls you or whatever. Like, and I'm shooting from the hip because I'm just trying to give you guys something. But I on a new mistake, again, it's usually a symptom. It's not the root cause. And I think that's where people fuck up, is like they make a mistake. Look, trying to prevent the symptom again is not gonna prevent the actual root cause. Okay. Like, so I get to that root cause, I figure out my control measures. I figure out how, okay, what can I do mentally? And then what can I do physically in the real world to place control measures in real time to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And once I have that, man, I'll tell you what, like my ability to move on is a lot better because I'm at peace. Like, you ever have an argument with your significant other and it's good conflict where like they don't just go, yeah, okay. And like they're just trying to shut you up.
No, you get into a deep conversation.
But they actually respond like you feel like they hear you. And then you go, all right, so from here on out, like if it gets this or whatever, here's my safe word. I'm gonna go to the gym and whatever, and like, but you feel like they hear you and you have a good plan for the future. You're at so much more peace to just move on. That's where I'm okay with failure. You know, it's like If it's new, I've got some forgiveness for myself. Okay, it happened. It's new. Sucks.
Yep.
However, I immediately start diving into like finding the root cause, right? So there's some forgiveness with myself where, hey, I'm not going to sit here and beat myself up. I'm going to sit here and figure out what that root cause is so I can prevent it.
Take action. Do something about it.
If it's basic, if I should know better, if it's one of those mistakes, yeah, I do kind of beat myself up a little bit more. But again, I'm diving into my framework. Like, what does my everyday process look like? Because why am I making a mistake I've made before?
Right.
Which means whatever control measures you, like whenever that old mistake was new,
Yep.
and you put control measures in place to make sure it doesn't happen, well, apparently they're not working.
Yep.
And you need to dive back in. So, where I'm trying to go with this podcast is really trying to give you guys my thought process on like, okay, I failed and I'm happy to fail, right? Because if I'm failing, I'm growing. Maybe, or you're dying because you just keep failing and you're not necessarily doing anything with it. So again, trying to give my thought process of literally visualizing a fork in the road. When you're new in business, when you're new to the Marine Corps, when you're new to a relationship, if this is your first girlfriend you're dating or whatever, here's the deal. Have some patience because you're going to make a lot of new mistakes, okay? So don't beat yourself up too much. I'm like, fuck, I'm never right. Well, you're right. You're new.
Yep.
Like we've had agents on the team, man, and we've done accountability meetings. We're like, oh my God, like, Will, I get everything wrong. And I'm like, I know, you're new.
It's also your third listing.
I have everything to say to you every week. And yes, there's constantly something going on. But again, like you have to have a little bit more forgiveness and just understand, like, look, chalk these up. Let's figure out how to prevent them so they don't happen again. But understand that they're new. Have some forgiveness. And as long as we're getting better and we're not making the same mistakes, like, hey, we're going to be okay. But understand, like, when you're starting something first go around, yeah, you're going to mess a lot of stuff up, man.
You're going to be bad.
So, but again, like this thought process on how I get through it is important. Now, well, hey, how are you able to like do that? And where's your mind at? Like, well, let me tell you something. Where I always start, like when I was doing real estate, brand new. I've told that story. You guys can go back and listen to Training Scared, good podcast.
Yep.
I talk about not being comfortable in my own skin and doing something new. But I have a core foundation for myself, right? And that's adequate sleep, nutrition, hydration, and exercise. Those are my pillars. Normally, dude, if like something basic is messing up, like if I'm just getting irritated at my family and it's not really warranted or just dumb shit, what's wrong? You're not drinking enough water. You're not getting enough sleep. You're not getting good nutrition. You're eating junk food too much. You're not getting your workout. And dude, I promise you, more times than not, it's fundamental for me.
It
right?
sounds super simple, man.
Yeah.
It sounds super simple, but I mean, that's the God honest truth right there. And if you can limit as many of those outside factors as possible, like environmental factors, then it's super easy to go internal and see, all right, where did this get fucked up, right? If you know all the other stuff is good, that's super important. Well, because you can control what you can control, right?
Right. Well, and your self-integrity is there. Like my integrity is high, so if I'm treating my family inappropriate, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What, like, you don't do that. You're better than that. Like, okay, what am I not? What's wrong in my and with my pillars?
Yeah.
You know, and again with my pillars, when you talk about the gym, it doesn't lie. 500 on a bench is 500 on a bench. Like, if you bench press it that day, it's not because it was lighter. You got stronger. Okay, like it's very matter of fact, and you have to work so hard there for minimal gains.
Yeah.
Same as like jiu-jitsu. You got to work so hard just to get your first stripe on your white belt.
Yeah.
Okay, like.
That's
and I like
truth,
that.
Dude.
So I like it because it's self-defense. I like the gym because, yeah, man, you're going to build some muscles and you might, I mean, I don't know if you guys are watching, you might be as sexy as me one day. Okay? Like, I'll be modest. I'm probably top 5 in the world.
Yeah.
Okay, great. But yeah, there are some superficial, pieces to like fitness and looking good. And if you look good, you feel good. And if you feel good, you play good. Absolutely. But there's also perspective you get from the gym. So when you need something in life to be successful. So when you're growing a business or you're growing a family and you're going through new endeavors where you're going to make a lot of mistakes, you need something where you can have some success because that helps build your self-confidence, right? So when I'm in the gym and I'm hitting my goals, right? I'm cutting weight and I'm shredding up, or I'm hitting a certain workout, like I'm doing a circuit and I hit it for time, or I'm hitting certain weights or whatever it may be, and I'm winning there. It boosts my confidence and like, hey, look, man, you're a winner,
dude. Yes,
you're just new at something and don't expect to win. And oh, hey, by the way, when you first started the gym, you were not a winner.
Yep.
And going to the gym every day is a constant reminder for me that, hey, you've come a long way in 20 years of working out. So for me, man, it's twofold. It teaches you hard work and principles and perspective. The other side is it lets you become successful at something. And even if you're a beginner at the gym, going and losing 5 pounds,
That's
fucking
a
win.
Yeah.
And when you have something that you can have these incremental wins with, it helps boost your confidence when you're doing something new and you're taking a loss every day. Every day you're losing.
Yeah, you are.
But having something where you can go tap someone out.
Yep.
Or you get better at form, or you get better in the gym, or you lose 5 pounds, or you run a half mile longer. Those wins are going to fuel you because you're not going to get your fuel from where you're losing every day.
Yeah.
That's just your grind. That's you embracing the suck, okay? But putting some effort into things you can control and going and losing that 5 pounds or running that that extra quarter mile or half mile, those wins fuel me while this cannot. So if you're looking at like business, when people want to go from their full-time job and they want to start a career, but their career is like their side gig.
Yep.
So if somebody wants to start full-time real estate, you're going to lose and you're not going to make any money.
For a long time.
Your day job is going to fuel you
Right.
with money
Yep.
until you have built this enough. Same thing metaphorically.
Yeah.
Your gym and what you can control in these environments where you can win is going to fuel you and pay you with successes while the suck is not.
Well, and
right?
that's critical, man, because a lot of time those big wins, I mean, dude, you're going years in between of like those big progression parts, man. Like as you're progressing, like blue belt. So I've been doing jiu-jitsu about 2 years now. I'm a 1-stripe blue belt. I'll probably be a blue belt for another 2 years.
He's a jiu-jitsu crip.
Minimum.
What's up, cuz?
Yeah, I'll probably be a blue belt for another 2 years minimum.
Yeah.
And so it's like if you don't have
Unless
those,
you go to one of those franchises.
Oh God,
you
yeah.
can go there, you can pay for one.
Yeah, and then go get fucked up back in class because that don't mean shit.
Well, here's the deal. And this is what I'm getting at. And this is why, like, by the way, we're sponsored by 3D. It's always funny to see myself on camera. This is why self-integrity and like accountability is so important, because you could go to a franchise right now.
You know what I mean?
I don't want to name any, but you could go. You could go to some cliche places, and dude, you could probably get your black belt next year. Pay for your little test, and your little tests go well, but on the inside, you're a bitch.
Well, not even on the inside. You go and grapple another blue belt, and you're a black belt getting fucked.
Unless you're grappling another blue belt at one of those franchises,
places, yeah.
Right? Then you're lying to yourself.
Yeah.
But again, right, like the integrity behind it, like know you're a bitch.
Well, and also the integrity too, because as you're kind of relying on those little wins to keep you motivated and keep you going. Like I remember when I first started and I was a white belt, and I just knew damn well, hey, I don't know chess yet. I can't play chess if I don't know chess. I have to learn. So my win per se, my goal isn't to tap that guy out, but it was to like control my breathing. If I could go a 5-minute round and I was controlling my breathing the whole time, hey, that's a fucking win for me.
I'm glad you said that, because it is important to like find incremental wins. Because when you're like, well, I go and I get tapped out every time, that's a loss total, like overall. But if you're like, hey,
depends what your goal is,
I controlled my breathing, and so incremental goals, even within, so not even just like a day goal or hey, I'm at jiu-jitsu for 2 hours, so you got a 2-hour goal. Nope, you're literally going down inside of a match of a grapple. You might grapple 16 times that night.
Yep.
And every time it's like, hey, I don't care if I win or lose. I need to control my breathing. I need to learn this tactic, or maybe like at some point it's like, hey, I'm not going to get tapped out. Like if I'm grappling another white belt, last time I got tapped out every time. This time I'm getting tapped out half.
Now,
things like that.
And that has to come with a lot of self-awareness though. Because
your goal has to be realistic.
Well, and people start relying on that shit and they start falling back on that. And then that's all, oh, hey, I went to the gym today, so that's a win. When it's like, hey, yeah, but that's also been your win for the past 6 months. You need some fucking results now.
No. So but to be specific, if you're already at jiu-jitsu and you have a breathing goal or not getting tapped out goal, that's like going to the gym and you have a weight or a rep goal.
Correct.
Or you have like, I'm going to run an extra mile or a mile and a half, or I'm still going to run a mile, but I'm going to shave 30 seconds off of my time. That's like it is. It's not just showing up.
Right.
It's finding those incremental goals once you get there. And those incremental goals give you a purpose when you're there. No, checking the fucking box and just showing up and talking to me when I'm trying to hit weight can get you yelled at.
It will.
I'm not a mean guy either. You just bring the mean out. Yeah, stop it. Stop talking to me, man. See these big ass beat headphones on my head?
Shit. Yeah, that's
and my
cue.
head and my fucking hat on, not making eye contact with you.
Don't talk to me.
That does not welcome you to come over to me and ask me how I got so buff. I'm not even that buff in the first place. I'm just, dude,
Yeah.
just at a 24. I'm not as big as people think.
Not even. Yeah. Yes.
I'm like a solid one.
For the record, he fucking is.
I'm like a solid 190.
190. Shut up, bro.
My jersey's a 3X. This
That's
fucking
hilarious.
guy asked me the other day. He's like, "Bro, your jersey's a 3X," and I go, "Dude, I think they just make it smaller now. I swear to
You don't
God."
order that shit from China.
I was like,
bro.
"Dude, I swear I'm an XLT. I promise you. That's what I
Right,
wear.
right.
Carhartt,
Yeah.
XLT, man. Jerseys. I
That's
don't know. Maybe I
awesome.
got this from the kids section.
That's awesome.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think those are important. And earning your key, especially where you have control of it. So I got some of that. So like boot camp.
Yep.
Right? Here's a little story for you. When you first go to boot camp, they shave your fucking head. You're bald. You don't get a fade. Normally in the Marine Corps, you have like guidelines for your hair. And
Okay.
yeah, you can't have a beard. You can have a hair. I think it's like a couple inches on top.
Okay.
And then, you know, you just, it can be a fade. It can look nice.
Yeah.
When you first go to boot camp, you're bald.
They just
They go
you.
000 and they
Yep.
shave it all off. You don't have any name tags on your camis. Okay, it doesn't say Marines. It doesn't say your name.
What do they call you? How do they know what to call you?
Boot,
Really? That's it.
bitch.
Yeah.
You just
gotcha.
better be paying attention.
Gotcha.
And then your drill instructors start knowing your name over time, especially like, and if they know your name too much, you're probably
Yeah,
messing
yeah,
up too
yeah.
much. But yeah, they rely on like if they're talking, everyone should be looking. If a drill instructor's talking, then everyone by default just looking. And once you find out like they're not talking to you, stop looking. Don't get curious, or they'll throw you right into that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
I remember one time, dude, we're doing evening BDR.
Okay.
I don't know what it stands for, but it's for hygiene. It's to make sure you're
Gotcha.
not a dirty piece of shit at
Okay.
night, because you got a bunch of guys in a squad bay. They want to make sure everybody's like clean and showered. So at night you take showers, whatever. And then you stand in line in front of the bunks, and drill instructors come in front of every person,
Okay.
one by one, and you know, and they come up in front of you, and you put your hands out. You know, you're like, "Good evening, sir." You know, recruit Grimes, infantry regular, which means I signed up to be in the infantry. I'm regular, not reserve.
Gotcha.
I'm regular. So yeah, and my drill instructors, all of them were infantry except for one guy was motor T. And back in my day, motor T guys were still on patrol,
Okay.
getting in the fight because they needed more guys on patrol. So they would like that because if in my day, like if you weren't like, boot camp was just psychologically, it was physically hard.
Yeah.
You went on runs, you did obstacle courses, but like they mentally fucked with you, dude.
Yeah.
I shouldn't even mention his name in case he listens one day when we're famous, but a drill instructor drugged me out of my bunk bed one night. He's hanging me halfway out of my bunk, choking me. Literally choking me. And he goes, "You think you can sleep, Grimes?"
Oh shit.
And I didn't even respond. And he fucking shoves me back in my bunk, walks away.
That's it.
And that's it. I didn't do anything wrong that day. I wasn't in trouble. Like, he just, I guess that sounded fun to him.
That's funny.
Fucker.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And that shit works, man.
That's
like, dude,
funny,
I kept
dude.
waiting for something. Like, okay, he'll tell, like, I did something.
Like, nope. That
For
was
like
it.
a week, dude.
That was it.
Right. So we're doing evening BDR, and like they're going around. They've already passed me. Now, when they're done with you, you're supposed to just read your knowledge. So we have like these books that have a bunch of like Marine Corps knowledge and tactics. You're sitting there reading while they're like going around everyone else. Well, this guy across from me, so we're facing each other, he kept fucking it up. Good evening, sir. Didn't even know his own name. Like we're like, I think we're like 3 weeks into boot camp where you're a little bit more comfortable.
Yep. Yep.
You know, and like I laugh because he's fucking it up, dude.
shit.
And it's and so I kind of like
Chuckled.
like
Yeah.
that, and
Yep.
and the drill instructor I'm talking about, I'm not gonna say his name. He fucking snaps his neck because I'm like, my book's kind of down. I'm like looking at him like, what a fucking idiot, right? Like, just say your name, dude. Like, Jesus, man. So I'm like, look, and I kind of chuckle, and the drill instructor.
Oh shit.
And this was a Thursday. I know it's a Thursday because on Thursdays we're like, families would come. So like for people ahead of us in boot camp that
Okay.
were graduating, Thursdays were visitors Thursday.
Gotcha.
Families would visit, then you graduate on Friday.
Okay.
So all drill instructors that were at San Diego had to be in their service uniforms
Okay.
to just look the part. So I like hurry up and put the book back in front of my face. I'm like, that was stupid. And I can hear his core forms. They were our dress shoes coming across the squad bay. And he punched me through the book and hit me right in the fucking throat, bro. And he knocks me over my
God.
footlocker. And like in my head, I'm thinking like, yep.
Dude,
that was the
that's
first time I
hilarious.
got punched in boot camp. Right? And he's like, you motherfucker. Right? Like,
Through the
dude,
book.
Right?
That's
yeah. He
hilarious.
just punches me. I'm holding the book like a fucking idiot. Right?
That's
Fucking
so funny.
wham! And I'm standing in front of my footlocker. So it's like, you ever do the joke where like someone goes on all fours behind your friend and you push them? It's the same thing. So I fall over. I hit my head on the bunk and he like grabs me back. I don't think he meant to knock me over because
Yeah.
technically you're not supposed to like abuse recruits.
Punch people.
That's fucking cute, right?
Yeah.
So he grabs me by my shirt and like pulls me back up and like yells at me and walks off like funny shit. Anyway, I don't know where I was going at. Just a funny story.
That's like a fucking
so
story.
back to boot camp, like earning your keep,
Punched
right?
in the throat.
Yeah, so earning it. Like, dude, even just being infantry regular, like that's some respect for you. But
Right.
so you have no names on your name tag, on your camouflage. No U.S. Marines, no fucking name. And your hat, they make you pull it all the way down. Like your Marine Corps hat, I don't know what it's called. I call it a hat, whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Anyway, it's the hat you wear. It's like the 8-point hat. It's a cover.
Yeah.
Normally you wear it like just rested upon your head.
Okay.
They make us pull it all the way down.
Looks all stupid and shit.
Like an idiot.
Yeah.
Because you're like, dude, you're in first phase.
Yep.
You're a boot.
Yep.
And you don't get to blast your boots. I told you about that.
Yep.
So you don't get to like tuck your pants up under and make them look nice and whatever. You have nothing. Once you get through like first phase, you know, like you get name tags.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
But it is oh boy.
Yeah.
Because you're like, dude, you earned them, right?
Yep.
And then like you get into like third phase or whatever, like you start blousing your boots and you're like, oh shit. And you stop wearing your cover so stupid. So now like you're wearing the camis and your boots and everything like you're supposed to. So you start looking the part. But even just little things like that, dude, they just make you earn.
Yeah.
Like stuff that you would think is like stupid or just non-important or whatever. Like, no, dude. Every inch. So some of the ideology I have, like, yeah, it was forced upon me, and whether I chose to be successful with it or not, but I remember that stuff. I just remember like earning my keep and everything that I do. But I also remember like being new. And they never beat you up for being new. You just didn't earn shit yet. Yeah. So they weren't like, you're new, look at you. No. They're messing you up because you're new, but they're messing you up because you're making mistakes.
Yeah.
They're not merely just because you're new, but because you're new, you're making 1,000 mistakes every day, which means they're hooking you up, right? And as you get better, they start treating you a little bit better. But if you're in third phase and you mess up, they'll rip your fucking name tag right off your camis.
Shit.
You know what I mean? Like, nope. If you're gonna act like a fucking boot bitch, take those names. They'll rip them right off, right? So that also gives you perspective of like, hey, just because you've made it a certain distance doesn't mean you're done, man. You're never really done. So I try to apply those fundamentals every day, man. And you know, it was the same thing in like the Marine Corps, dude. It's especially the infantry community. Nothing against other Marines. I just can't speak to it because I'm from the infantry community. So they're like brothers, man. As in, they're not always your best friend. And the best way to describe it is like, you know, like if you and I were Marines together.
Yep.
No one else can call you a bitch, but I can call you a bitch. But if like we're out at a bar hanging out and some civilian like says some dumb shit to you, I'm probably hitting him first.
Yeah.
Like, hey, nope.
100%.
You know, and like beyond rank, corporal, sergeant, staff sergeant, like whatever you earn, you know, lieutenant, second lieutenant, first lieutenant, captain, everyone, especially in the infantry community, knows respect amongst your peers is all that matters. Not your rank, not how fast you can run your 3 miles. Like if you're a douchebag, it's a problem.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And your higher ups will prevent you from promoting.
Yeah.
They will not put you on, meritorious boards. And if your time in service is coming up to where like you're supposed to promote and you're not adequate, they will write you reprimands and have a paper trail on you, making sure you don't. Now you got to be a pretty big D-bag to have them go out of their way to do that, but they protect it. And it's what people don't see about the Marine Corps. And maybe this is military-wide. I can't speak to it. I'm only speaking to my experience, so this is not saying anyone's better or worse, but from what I hear, Marines are better.
Word on the street.
Yeah, but the infantry community, man, it's especially during a time of war, there's no messing around. You know, like they want, because if you're a shitbag, you can get guys hurt, man. So that's a problem. So just respect within the ranks and respect amongst your peers. People like, hey man, like you're doing it right. You're doing a good job. That is all that mattered. And if you got a rank over time in service because you slipped through the cracks and no one respects you, it doesn't feel the same.
No, dude.
It doesn't feel, I promise you it doesn't, right? Like it just, I know how guys looked at certain sergeants, man, and they would not listen to them. But if I was ever talking to my Marines, dude, I don't have to make them call me sergeant.
Yeah, no.
You know, and like if I ask them, like if we're up at the barracks, I'm like, hey guys, I need this done. And they're like, good to go. They don't always have to call me sergeant. You know, like, but there are some sergeants that are like, good to go, sergeant. And like, dude,
right.
Cut it, stop it.
Yep.
There's some insecurity there,
Yep.
right? And it's because of some of those things, man.
Definitely.
Some guys come from a different unit, they slip through the cracks, whatever it may be. Or sometimes, man, you have drill instructors that have just been on the drill field for so long, training recruits. they come back to the infantry as like a staff sergeant, but they haven't, but they promoted as a drill instructor.
Not
so now they're a staff sergeant in charge of however many guys, but they haven't been around in the infantry for 7 years, 6 years.
Damn.
They're out of it.
Yeah.
So they don't know what else to do, but they fall back on what they know. They start treating Marines like recruits. Listen, you don't do that to an infantry Marine.
Yep.
They will fucking gaff you off so bad. And dude, that's what I love about the infantry is they don't give a fuck, bro.
Yeah.
Like you come back from the drill field, like, hey, you're a staff sergeant. We respect you, man. It's all good. But you start treating Marines like recruits, bro, they will literally just walk away.
Well, they've earned their keep, dude. Like they've earned their keep.
And you're coming at them wrong.
Yeah,
it's not that, but here's the deal. If you come back as like a staff sergeant, because a lot of them do. A lot of them leave the drill field as a staff sergeant. And it's not that they're not proficient, man. They've just been away for a long time, right? Like what needs to happen and what normally does happen, man. I didn't see too many messed up staff sergeants treating Marines like that. I saw one. But for the most part, what's great about like small unit leadership and just the chain of command through the Marine Corps is other staff sergeants, when you got there, they would spin you up. They would make sure like, hey, here's what's expected of a staff sergeant. Here's what's been going on in our world since you've been a drill instructor. Right. And they spin them up. That way they're prepared. And that's a big deal because now, and this is what you got to remember too, man, like even when you're experienced, you're always going to be new. Like when you and I hit a certain financial level, we're going to be new at that level.
Yep.
We got a public talk coming up. We're going to New York and we're talking, we're doing some public speaking. By we, I mean, I guess I'm the one on stage running my mouth and I'm getting paid for it. Guess what, man? I was an instructor, right? I was a counter sniper instructor in the Marine Corps for division schools and at Urban Assault Leaders course. Awesome, man. We presented, we did a lot. I've never spoke to public civilians at that scale. In front of several hundred people. So guess what? As experienced as I am, I'm about to embark into something new. I got to fall back on my fundamentals, but I also have to understand that I'm new, and I also have to make sure that guys that are doing it with me are giving me their advice or giving me their 2 cents, right? So I reached out to Tosh. Tosh is in Bora. What a lazy fuck. Tosh is in Bora.
Chopping down that tree for 24 hours, bro.
Then he goes to Bora. Then he goes to Bora Bora for 2 weeks.
You know his ass is chopping trees down over there right now.
Motherfucker, bro.
He's climbing palm trees and like cracking coconuts right now.
In his Crocs. I know he is. Fuck. He's got those. He's old school. I bet he has those Reeve sandals with the beer bottle opener on the bottom and his little straw hat. Fucker. Anyway, I'll talk to him when he gets back. But there's some guys in my life that are ahead of me as a father, that are ahead of me in public speaking and certain stuff in business. And I'm able to like just use them as resources to give myself the best game plan possible, but still understanding I got to do it my way. And I'm going to have some forgiveness for myself and get better. But I think that's such a good point because right now we're talking about like being new to something and failing. But even when you get experience, like, dude, like that staff sergeant coming back out of boot, like, listen, dude, he came from the infantry. He goes and does what's called a B-billet. And that's good for your career. So when you become, like, if you go become an instructor at School of Infantry or a drill instructor and you're training recruits through boot camp, it's called a B-billet. But it's also good for your career to show that you're giving back to the Marine Corps. So it's good for promotion. If you're going to be a career Marine, you're going to do recruiting. You're going to be a drill instructor, or if you do come from the infantry, you're going to go be like an infantry instructor. It's giving back to the Marine Corps. It's good for your career. You're not getting out of it. You're going to do a B-billet, right? So when you come back, it's like when that one drill instructor was treating people like recruits, it's like it's twofold. One, other staff NCOs did not help spin you up. Secondly, like you're messing up. To think that you should even fall back on that, like that's on you. But even as a staff sergeant, hey, it's okay that you're coming back and you're new.
All good.
It's okay. Like we got to spin you up because you got responsibilities. But even as you become experienced, you're gonna embark on something new. Yes, fall back on what you've learned, but I think that's one of the biggest pieces to all of this as far as like the gym and jiu-jitsu and being fundamentally sound and always working at something. Like right when you start whooping ass on white belts, you start kicking their ass, you're a blue belt. Fuck.
Dude,
and now you start getting your ass whooped
I was scared for that promotion, dude, because that tells everybody else, hey, I can fuck him up now. Like he's good enough, I can fuck him up now.
Yeah, and now now everyone that you're sparring with is like treating you a little bit worse.
Dude,
you're getting fucked up again.
That hierarchy though is so fucking critical, dude, because I think more than anything, man, that helps like just solidify your place where you're at so you feel like you don't have to fucking fake it. Right? Like if you just make it up front, put on your damn white belt. Everyone knows you're a white belt. It's all good to fuck up. It makes you feel confident there. And then secondly, once you start earning some respect amongst your peers and just you start climbing the ranks a little bit, dude, you feel completely different. in yourself, and like you've earned that. But having that setup in place, and again, like jiu-jitsu, man, it's like when you're lining up before and after class, it's all, black belts up here, and it goes down to the white belts. White belts down to the very fucking end. When you're all rolling in class afterward, higher belts have the priority. So if you're getting in too close personal space with some other guys that are rolling, they're purple belts. Cool. Yep. We'll fucking move. You guys stay where you're at.
Yeah.
Like there's just that hierarchy, man. It does so many good things for people, but outside of like the self-respect, the personal respect, like it just takes away that anxiety of having to fucking fake anything, man.
Well, yeah, it's good. And like, so you became a blue belt. So now you're grappling other blue belts who are fucking you up. And every belt higher than you is going harder on you. Because I know black belts and brown belts, when they're going with white belts, as long as you're not going to injure them, they kind of play with you. They let you work through movements. Because that's how you learn. A black belt grappling with you as a white belt can't just choke you out all day. They can.
Yeah.
It's not constructive. They got to let you work through movements. They have to kind of let you get stuff to work it. When you get to blue belt, those black belts and brown belts are not letting you get away with as much. So you're back to getting your ass whooped.
And you're making mistakes, and they're
making you pay.
Making you realize.
However, there is a level of pride and responsibility that comes with a blue belt because you're not at the bottom. And it's the same thing as a sergeant, man. Like, I feel sergeant was the funnest rank for me because you're still like with Marines and you're leading Marines, team leaders, squad leaders, you know, and
you're not out of touch.
But there's a lot of responsibility.
Right.
Like, I feel like sergeants have an incredible amount of responsibility, especially from the infantry community, you know, SOCOM community. There's a lot of responsibility there, but because you've earned your keep, you're prideful and you take that responsibility and you take less sleep and you take on more and you're more accountable for more, but you're so prideful of it. And the respect, if you do it right, the respect you get from your subordinates, man, you know they're appreciative. You know what I mean? And like, I kind of carry that into fatherhood. You know, like, hey, listen. And you know, it's so funny. Because my daughter's so cute. She's all smart and shit. Dude. Pardon? Yeah. Excuse me? Pardon? Right? And like, people talk, right? And like, you've seen it. And like, oh, I bet she's got you wrapped around her finger. And I said, you're out of your goddamn mind. She does not. No, like, she's a great kid. She's super smart. If she's doing what she's supposed to be doing, all good, man. If you're not, I literally know she's messing up before she even realizes she's thinking of it. Like, I know the moment you even... Nope, come here. You know, like, I'm on it. You know, but... And like, to be and not just parent, to be a good parent, to check homework, to stay up later, to teach them, not just do it for them, to teach them or to give lessons learned and to like spank about. I don't like punishing my daughter. I don't like spanking her butt. I don't like grounding her and not having fun with her. Like, no, it's not fun at all. But I'm your dad. I'm not your friend, right? Like, we can have a great time, but when it's time for me to teach you, like, I have to. You know, but there's a sense of pride because I know my kids look up to me. I know they pay attention. I know they listen. And dude, even my son, you watch him, will turn to me and look to see like what I think of something all the time. There'll be so many people around him getting attention. If I walk up, man, he looks at me and he's kind of like, and then he'll clap his hands or something, and he'll wait for me to clap my hands with him. But again, being a good parent, dude, it is time and energy and effort at work, and you got to come home and be patient and mold them. It's the same as a sergeant, man. Like, when they get to the fleet, which is like you get to your first unit, you get to the fleet. Dude, new Marines are so much work. Even after boot camp and School of Infantry, and now you're getting to the fleet, like, dude, they are so much work. But yeah, man, you're going to stay up later. You're going to have to train them extra. You're going to have to say the same thing 10 different ways because 10 different dudes learn 10 different ways. But those younger Marines, man, they look up to you, you know, and they are appreciative of how much energy and leadership that you give them. That selfishly, I guess you could call it, maybe it's not selfishly, but selfishly as a leader, or maybe it's not selfishly, but you know, this is when we get into like, are leaders born? Are they not born? I think you are. I think there's some born traits there, and then you just have to train and become a great leader. But I do think just like talent, like you have talent to throw a baseball hard, you have talent to dunk a basketball, and then you just have to train that craft to get better. I do think that there's some God-given attributes that make people want to be a leader, because when you see how they look at you or they thank you for something, or when you watch them get better at what you've been teaching them, it's very gratifying. So you carry that level of respect, and it's worth the less sleep. It's worth the more risk. It's worth whatever you're putting into it. And it ain't more pay. I promise you that. You get sergeant's pay. Okay. So whether the sergeant's doing paperwork at a desk and minding his own business, or whether you're in the infantry training a squad, it's the same pay. So,
that's crazy.
But you're doing, I promise you, like 5 times the amount of work and time and effort and physical and practical application. And, you know, dude, like we would get in trouble if one of our Marines got a DUI on the weekend.
Yeah,
Okay?
you would.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And it was like, apparently your Marines are not thinking of you enough when they're out. And apparently they don't have enough respect for the squad they're in or the pride for the Marine Corps because they'd rather make that decision. So you haven't instilled that in them.
And they got a point. Like, they kind of got a point.
Yeah, but imagine if corporate America was accountable. Like, imagine if you were like a manager or like a lender team leader. And one of your lenders was like late to work and they got a DUI on the weekend if you had to be accountable for that.
Yeah.
Not saying you should, but imagine if there was that level of accountability.
Yep.
You know, and those things are huge, man. So, but at the same time, like your experience there, but then when you become a staff sergeant, you're new. You're new as a staff sergeant, man. Like there's, you want to go run around with the troops. Hey, that's cute. But guess what? You're in this now, and you got to learn this.
Yes.
You know, and it's going to take time to learn. It's okay to be new, but I like that because as experienced as you get, if you have that hierarchy, that chain of command, and that's like something to promote within, it's great. If you're an entrepreneur and you run your own shit, like Eli and I, we run our own show. Like there's no promotions in real estate. Okay, like we own our team, and that's it. Like you might get some awards, cute. You get awards in the Marine Corps too. That's outside of promotion. It's good to just seek things that do allow you to level up.
Yes.
It's you know, and it's good to just be, you get experience and you apply that and then boom, on to the next level and you're new again. But you get to take those like a video game, man. If you play the video game the right way, level 1, you take what you learn in level 1 and you apply it to level 2 and you're still going to suck. But over time you get better. Dude, there's so much benefit in life to that. And again, when you start your own entrepreneurship and you're starting your own company, you're at level 1. Like, hey, I don't need a team yet. I need to figure out me. I need to make sure, like, hey, am I good at this? Am I going to succeed at this? Is what I'm doing successful? Okay, it is. Can I duplicate it and teach it to someone? Yeah. Then maybe you're ready for level 2. And it's no different than like a belt system at jiu-jitsu or like the Marine Corps, like a rank structure. But it all depends on where you go for that. Because in the Marine Corps, listen, man, especially in the infantry community, they're not handing out rank. Fuck you. Okay, they'll demote you if anything. Okay, like no. You got to earn your keep. So it's not just about the rank structure. It's about the integrity in between the ranks.
It is.
People checking you. And if you earn that shit, dude, you ever heard of a blood stripe? So in our dress blues, we have a red pinstripe. Okay. You guys can look up your history in the Marine Corps and what the blood stripe is for. Once you hit NCO, corporal, that's now in your dress blues, your pants will have that red stripe on it. If you're below corporal,
down the side.
Yep. If you're below corporal, it will not. Dude, and I know this is frowned upon and maybe they don't do this anymore, whatever. They do in the infantry. You pick up corporal and you're respected, you get to walk the gauntlet. Okay? And look, no disrespect to the Marine Corps. If you guys don't do this anymore, cool. Mothers of America, we love you. So it's called walking a gauntlet. So within your unit, or at least within your company, which has 3 squads in it, sometimes 4 if weapons are attached to you. It's called walking a gauntlet. So people, you ever at your wedding when you guys walked out, there's like people to your left and people to the right. It's that. That's the gauntlet. You're walking down the middle of that. And there's a guy on each side, right? And every guy that's your rank or higher lines up and they get a fucking knee you in the side of your leg. Give you a Charlie horse.
That's terrible, dude.
It's a nightmare.
That's terrible.
And listen to me.
You ain't walking after 2 of them.
Everyone wants to get you best. Everyone wants to he's going to remember mine. Because they're fucking Marines. Assholes. It hurts. It hurts real bad. Dude. But listen, dude, it's a sign of respect. And there is some history behind the bloodline. So you get look it up, read that, it'll give you guys something to look up. But you walk that gauntlet, and if you got 10, 12, 14 guys ahead, like, dude, you're going to walk it. And they're going to, you better take it. Don't be a little bitch. Don't fall over. Don't bet. No, dude, you go. Every last one, you go.
How many are there?
It just depends on who's around for your promotion, right? Some, like if you're deployed, it's different. But I've never seen less than 8.
Oh,
yeah, dude. Mine was longer.
I don't like one of those.
It's just important, man. And I get like regular society. They're like, oh, you guys are monsters. Yeah, we are. We're training for combat.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Do you understand that, theater? Yeah. Like there's some rough shit. There's some pride. There's just some, savagery. Whatever you want to call it, man. I'm not going to put any label on it. It's not my thing to do, but you just have to understand the nature of what guys are training for and understand the pride behind certain things. You know what I mean? So Yeah, but along with taking that pain comes an extraordinary amount of respect. But it's also like, hey, it's now ingrained in you. Your legs hurt, but hey, you're a corporal now.
Yeah.
You have different responsibilities, and you better adhere to them.
Yeah.
It's important, man. So again, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're like, I'm not in the Marine Corps, dude, like I don't have that. Like I get it. We have a lot of friends, man. We have friends that just own their own. They're their own contractor.
Yeah. Yep.
And they do fix and flips and different stuff, but you do have control as far as go join some jiu-jitsu, man. Go do something that gives you some of that perspective that allows you to earn some rank through that.
Please.
Because the perspective you're going to apply to your real life, it's huge. And it just makes you aspire. Like, so this public speaking that I'm doing, and like getting paid for, like, that's awesome, man. And like, I do aspire to do that.
Yep.
And it does give me something outside of real estate to go like challenge myself with, but none of those things will surface if you're not trying to be better.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like we've been networking with a lot of people, man, and we've been helping a lot of people for these last couple of years. And some of those people are trusting in us to go do that, right? But you don't get welcomed into that without putting your best foot forward and without wanting some of that.
Yeah. And putting in some work up front without, necessarily asking for anything in return. Put a fuck ton of work. And what I like about you with that, man, is as good as you talk and as much experience as you have talking in different arenas and stuff, you're still treating this with the respect that it deserves, right? And you're putting in the prep and you're just going about it the right way. Whereas you very easily could be like, oh no, man, done this before, I know exactly what I'm gonna say. And I'm sure you do, but it's like, hey, this is where people could be good and they miss out on being great.
Yeah.
Just by taking those few extra little steps that a professional is gonna take.
Yep.
You can fuck some shit up, you know, and people not taking those extra few little steps, man, to go from good to great, they're fucking missing out.
Well, and just etiquette, right?
Yeah,
just understanding like how
respect.
To that and understanding, and this is where you just have to have enough balance where like, dude, I'm so eager to learn and I will listen to everyone. What I do though is I take what I can from people. So if I speak to someone and there's only one thing I can take from that I think's for me, I'll take it. And I'm appreciative. I'm not going to say that to them. I don't say to someone, hey, thanks for your 30-minute talk. I took 5 minutes of it. Like, no, man.
Right.
But again, on the flip side, I don't care if that happens to me. If someone listens to 30 podcasts and only one of them speaks to them, but whatever spoke to them allows them to be great, cool, man. It's all worth it. I understand that I'm not for everyone. And more specifically, the people I am for, you're not going to take everything I say and apply it. It's just going to be what you think applies to you. And then as you go through a process, maybe you apply more of my tools, maybe you don't, maybe you figure out your own tool, but there'll be one or two things that you can take from us. Awesome, man. Baller. I love that. And that's what I try to do. The more people I can speak to and get a perspective on their lens, the better. And I just take what I can from folks and I apply that to my own vision. Yes. But no matter what, is I want to have integrity with who I am and who I want to be up there. But I do like listening to folks and some of the etiquette behind it and just making sure that I keep things somewhat simplistic and not just give someone in the audience something to take with them. Physically tell them, hey, here's the 3 things I want you to take away with today.
Actionable steps.
But then also spelling it out for them, just to make sure that like you're not giving so much. It's like super nostalgic, but it was too much and they can't necessarily process it all. Versus like giving them something at the end. And that was something that I spoke to with Gavin about. And he's like, yeah, man, I always try to give people 3 things at the end. And I physically say them to keep them in direction without, hey, out of everything you've heard today, take this from you. And I thought that was cool, so, but again, but everything he does on stage is not necessarily going to be me. But again, I'm not him and he's not me. It shouldn't be. And if it is, well, then they wouldn't be asking me to come to be different. I would be the same. But I think it's good, man. And I think the synopsis of just going through this thought process today of the dog tag story and some of the boot camp stuff and just basic funny shit. Boot camp was funny. It was hard mentally and like they fuck you up, but it's funny to look back on, man. And some of the funny stories, bro. But they make you learn a lesson so extreme. Right? Like I told you that story when a kid left his Foot Locker unlocked.
I don't know. Tell me.
No, I told you that.
What?
Yeah, so you have your Foot Locker with your personal stuff. This kid left his Foot Locker unlocked when we went out to, I think we were going to evening chow, evening dinner, right? And we're coming, and normally when we come, like we go after chow, we go march and do some stuff until it gets dark, and then you come in, you do more drill at night.
Okay.
We didn't do drill at night.
Okay.
The drill instructors were like super happy. They were overly happy, scary happy.
Weird, right?
Yeah, man. And a kid had left it unlocked. So we all come in, we're standing in line, so they kick that Foot Locker out. And they're like, looky. And you're like, fuck, it's unlocked. They were like, everybody, unlock your Foot Locker right now.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So we had to go to the end of the squad bay, right? And we all had to dump all of our shit into a pile. 60 dudes stuff.
Everybody.
Because that one guy, everybody. But dude, listen to me. Knowing it's your fault that everybody has to go through this makes you check yourself.
Hell yeah, dude.
Right. And not being at fault, but understanding any Marine who messes up can get someone killed.
Mm-hmm.
Perspective.
Yep.
And they got to go extreme to get that lesson into 20-year-olds, man, and 18-year-olds. And so we had to take our Foot Locker with everything, dude. Clothes, belts and shit. And we have our names stamped on our stuff.
Yeah.
So
but still.
Well, it's in a pile. Here's the sucky part. So they put all this stuff in a pile, and then they throw the Foot Lockers on top of it. Then the drill instructors get funny because they think it's funny. So then we had to lock. They took all of our accommodation locks, right? And they locked them all together. Some of them, like I can't remember.
Those probably don't have your names on them, right?
I don't remember them having. I don't know if we had like a piece of tape that did. If it did, they were ripping them off, right? And then they go grab the guide, which is like your squad number. It's on like a wooden pole,
okay,
right? And it has your number on it. And that's what you carry into like, out on parade, so everyone knows who you are.
Yeah.
And they start marching. So then we had to get back in line in front of our bunks. This huge pile sitting there.
Oh, fuck.
They start marching that guide on down into the pile. Like Iwo Jima from World War II. Where the Marines were staking the flag on top, that super famous thing.
That on your
they
pile
were
of
fucking
shit.
acting like that, bro. They were positioning themselves and like acting like it. Just getting so much.
That's pretty good.
Just like bliss from fucking us up like that, bro.
Dude, I start to understand you so much more whenever I hear stories like this, dude.
So they do that, but this is nighttime.
Yeah.
So by the time they're done with their ceremony, it's time for bed.
Oh, God.
So lights go out, and guess what? Senior walks up and he goes, so he's at the end of the squad bed, and he goes, hey, all of that shit will be gone, cleaned up, and your shit will be back in your Foot Locker by the morning. So we're all trying to grab little flashlights, and we're trying to unlock the padlocks and then find everyone's fucking underwear and just different to put back in our Foot Lockers.
Oh, what a
Terrible.
mess, bro.
Yeah, bro. And it was done.
Yeah.
But just watching some guys get mad and they snap and dude, just funny. I mean, dude, just terrible. Like for like one time, a guy snuck peanut butter back.
Oh, fuck.
So he could have a little snack at night.
Oh, fuck.
Right? So I don't know why I'm going on this tangent of stories.
Dude.
Like, hopefully Mothers of America isn't listening.
Embracing the suck, man.
Exactly. So, I can't confirm or deny. Maybe I hit my head and these stories were all just made up. We'll just say that. Right? Not getting anybody in trouble. So somebody sneaks peanut butter back and they tell you right away, dude, like, just don't do that. Even your recruiters, before you go to boot camp, go, hey, whatever you do not bring food.
Like, don't do stupid shit.
Back to the squad mate, bro. Don't do it. So somebody does. I can't remember who did it. Whatever. The next day, I think it was for lunch. We did breakfast. They let us eat. It was weird because they let us eat.
Okay.
They didn't rush us.
So they knew the whole time.
Dude, normally, it's like you have minimal time to eat. I was literally throwing yogurt on bread and just eating it.
Yeah.
So I was trying to just get as many calories down in a quick manner. We're eating breakfast that day. And they didn't count us down. They were letting us eat. And it's just like, dude, it just felt weird. And then we got a lunch, right? We drilled and we got a lunch. Someone ate fast. And one of the kill hats, I don't want to say his name. He's awesome. Cool guy. Infantry guy, obviously, right? Like, he goes, sit the fuck down. That guy sits down. He goes, grab another tray, eat. And he goes, everybody, sit down. Take your time. Eat.
Yep.
And you're like, fuck no.
Damn.
Fuck this
Something's
food.
wrong.
So so whatever you had on your tray, eat.
Yep.
Okay. So what's saying what happened? So instead of going out and drilling on the parade deck after lunch and whatnot, we go back to the squad bay. And then you just know, like, oh, dude, somebody fucked up. So that's when we hear about someone bringing peanut butter back the night prior. And, of course, they say who did it. So you know. So they're like, everybody, grab a canteen. I'm like, all right. Canteens, which you keep water in, right? Like, I don't know, 20 ounces. I don't know what it is. And they go to the bathroom, fill it up.
Okay.
We fill it up. We run back. We get in front of our bunk beds, you know, and they go, drink. And they start counting down from 60 or 90 or something. So you have to just keep drinking. And then when you're done, you got to hold it upside down above your head to show it's empty.
Right.
Everybody does it, and they go fill it up.
Oh man, you're like, I know where this is going.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So we go fill it
Damn
up.
it.
Dude, I think everyone got through 2.
Yeah.
We're on our 3rd, right? Because you can only hold so much water in your stomach, dude. And when you got food in it, two good meals in you, people start yakking. So literally the whole squad, babe.
Dude.
And here's what's funny. Well, it's not funny. Let me be more polite. Here's what's interesting.
Yeah.
Right? Chain reaction. Once a couple guys yak, just watching them yak makes you yak. The entire squad.
Oh, yeah.
Because you face each other, because you got one set of bunk bed on one side of the squad bay, another on the other side.
Yep.
So everyone's facing each other, and everyone's just yakking water and food.
Dude, that's like out of a movie, bro.
Into the middle of the squad, bro.
Yep.
It looked like a flood that happened.
Yep.
And like when you like don't eat the rest of your cereal, and there's like a lot of milk with a little bit of like, fruity pebbles left.
Yep.
That's what our squad bay looked. A lot of water with some like food just floating around everywhere.
So the guy that stole the peanut butter, nothing special happened to him. Everyone's paying the price.
Everyone, bro. Everyone,
bro.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's how it goes, dude. Like there is no, and they're trying to get you ready for, because dude, I joined during a time of war. Like they're trying to get you to understand, like, look, man, if someone makes a mistake,
everyone pays for it.
a guy dies.
Yep.
He's not coming back. And here's what people don't realize: if a guy dies from your squad, you're not getting Mario jumping out of a fucking green tube to come replace him.
You're short.
Now you're a man short. So now everybody has to hack more of a load.
Yeah.
They were teaching that principle, man, from the fucking second you got there. So.
Yep.
Yeah, and no, everyone got punished equally, and then we all had to clean that shit up. Terrible.
Well,
but, in extreme, whatever. Listen, it's the Marine Corps. I'm prideful. But, you can also just like, no pun intended, you can also water that down, okay? And there's just different ways to still implement certain things, depending on what type of business you have. And like in real estate, if someone messes up a deal, am I going to punish the entire team? No, man. But they also didn't join the Marine Corps. But there are things I can do as an individual to become a better leader by always being new and always working towards something hard. And funny shit but what I want people to understand, I guess, is like, look, this is my lens. Maybe a little abstract at times. Okay, we'll call it that. Right?
Out of the box.
But listen, it works for me, and those are my experiences. I'm not saying have my experiences. I'm saying if you have experiences that have made you better, reflect on those, apply them, and then still find ways to get better. And then look, if you're new and you haven't gone through anything, this is your boot camp or this is your first endeavor in business. Forgive yourself.
Yep.
Make mistakes, but you got to have your pillars of your diet and your hydration and working out or doing jiu-jitsu.
Fundamentals.
Finding some place to go get better and get some wins to give you perspective with your business, man. I think it's super important.
Yeah, and just to kind of recap here too, guys, again, when you find that you're at that place where you've made a mistake, right? Something has gone wrong. Like Will said, step number 1, he's kind of taking that step back, picturing that fork in the road, and he's thinking, okay, have I made this mistake before? No? Okay, hey, I'm learning, right? Or yes, hey, all right, what made me take this path when I already knew better?
Yeah.
And then thirdly, once you've kind of established that, we need to get control measures in place. Yeah. What are some physical things you can do? What are some mental things you can do to help make sure that this mistake isn't going to happen again?
And dude, this applies to everything, okay? Yeah. Like you get a flat tire. Yeah, sit there and cry about it. Or go, that sucks. It's not going to unflat itself, right? Okay, so what do I do now? Do I have a spare tire? Do I have a jack? No. Yep. Do I have a cell phone? Can I call AAA? Whatever you're doing, but the more you implement, opportunities in your life with adequate control measures, you start naturally thinking like that.
Yep.
Okay, like even down to your relationships. Okay, like Kate comes home and, hey, Chloe went to the principal's office today. Okay, like that's not unhappening. But now I got to figure out, like, okay, what'd she do? Is it something new?
Right.
Is it not new? Is it something completely unacceptable? Like, did she spit in some kid's face where it's like blatant, we know better? What the fuck? And I still have to dive in deeper and go, why would she do something like that? But it is what it is. It's happened.
Yes.
Now it's about assessing it and then moving forward productively.
Yep.
Right? To come up with a solution. And the more your mind operates like that, and the more you deliberately put yourself in jiu-jitsu, in the gym, having a fitness goal, the more you find ways to do that, the more you're going to find your brain operates like that a lot.
Yeah.
And it literally goes into every aspect of your life, and you just start becoming a lot more productive in everything you do.
And it takes a lot of repetitions to be able to figure that stuff out.
Yes, and more importantly, since we're talking about relationships
Yeah.
or business partners or whatever, listen, if you have a girlfriend or whatever and they're not like that, help them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
be patient with them. But if you just have toxic people in your life, you're going to find out real quick your thought process of being productive does not work for them.
Yep.
You're going to piss them off. This is where you also have to start spring cleaning, right? Hey, maybe some people should be in my life. Maybe they shouldn't be. And it's not a bad thing.
Which
it's
is
not
also,
a good thing.
That's part of embracing the suck. You got to do some sucky things sometimes.
But if you want to get better, it's got to come full circle. It can't be I'm amazing in my career, but I have a crackhead wife or I have just a dysfunctional family or dysfunctional friends that bring, like, I promise you, everything coincides together.
It does.
So if you want to be better, if you want to level up, right, your health and your fitness and your training and your business and the people you surround yourself with, it all coincides together, man. We've got some friends of ours, some genuine friends, and they are leveled up, man. Some of them are making $4 million plus, and that's great, and they're doing it the right way. And now we get exposed to them, and now we're learning what they do in business, and some of those guys are introducing us to people that want us to go help. And that's leveling up our business. So again, man, but if we weren't taking ourselves serious, if we weren't producing at the level we are in business, if we weren't super proactive as far as like how we assess life, if we weren't able to provide them value, they would not be throwing anything at us. So it does, man. And I promise you, some of these guys that I'm talking about that we're good friends with that are just great people to be around, if I had a toxic family or a toxic, relationship with my significant other,
or with yourself,
they would know I'm a loose cannon.
Like,
yeah, man, I can't trust that guy. And then they're like, oh, like, or especially if you bring all your work or your home life to work all the time. Look, man, like, they might like me, but they're not going to help me because they don't know, like, man, like if this guy has a fight with his wife the night before he goes and talks, he won't be able to compartmentalize. And why am I telling my personal business all the time? Why can't you, hey, if you can't work something out with your partner to where you just got to go say it to everybody else all the time,
dude.
Man, that's also a leaky. That's also leaky, right? So I promise you, deliberately placing yourself into the suck and finding ways to train yourself on how to be productive and assess and have a process and have goals and set goals and achieve them. It applies to everything you do. It's going to apply to your business, your entrepreneurship, your leadership as a father or leader in your company, as well as the relationships you have. You're going to start cleaning house because you're going to start figuring out, man, I don't need to be around that guy. And you don't have to break up with them, right? Like with your friends, just be around them less. Doesn't have to be drama. There's some people I see once a year. I'm not mad at you. It's all good. Look, man, it's just not productive for me to be in that place, right? So, but it has to, there is no other way around it. If you're going to be leveling up and doing these kind of things, dude, it has to be every aspect of your life. It's all or nothing.
It's true.
And a lot of people get one or two, and then one of those other ones always brings them down, and they always slip. And you cannot do it. It's all or nothing, but it's also refreshing, and it feels good, man. You start respecting yourself, making hard but right / correct decisions. They are hard. But when you know you're on the right path and like, yeah, this sucks, I got to break up with this girl, or man, I got to let this friend go and not be around him as much. Yeah, it's not fun. But when you have enough maturity to make that decision and navigate through it, dude, like the respect you start having for yourself to be able to make that decision, it's huge. And then it does start bleeding through everything you do. And that's when you really start winning, man. Huge point. Final point for me, but huge point, man. Huge point.
That's
all
it.
or nothing. Enjoy the suck.
That's it.
Happy Monday.
Yeah, happy Monday, guys. That's it today. We're going to see you guys in a few days on Friday. Yeah.
Give or take.
Yeah. It'll be Friday.
Awesome, guys.
Thanks for listening, guys. Appreciate the comments. I see our Facebook here. Thanks for just commenting, engaging. Again, like Will said earlier, we are on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, all that good stuff. Reviews help a ton. If you ever get anything from our podcast and you guys want to get on there and leave us an honest review,
we'd
appreciate it. Helps a ton.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
Thank you, guys. See you in a few.
Out.